Good evening, welcome to Left, Right and Centre. I'm Vishnu Shobh, and on the programme today, a massive part of a glacier in Uttarakhand breaks away and causes havoc. Water levels in two fast-flowing tributaries of the Alaknanda rise dramatically. Two hydropower projects between Joshimath and Chamoli are destroyed. At least 10 are dead. Upwards of 100 are thought to be missing. Rescue operations are on. In this, rescuers dig out survivors, but the latest information is that at another site, there are 30 survivors who rescuers are trying to get to. They are in tunnels. We'll bring you the very latest on the disaster in Uttarakhand. We'll bring you the DG of the National Disaster Relief Force, also the spokesperson of the Indo-Tibetan Border Police, who were the first to reach the site. But just take a look at these images. The big concern, the rising levels of the waters, which will affect areas downstream as well. But fortunately, that seems to have eased out a lot. Also on the show tonight, the gloves are off between the BJP and the Trinamool Congress in Bengal. On his first election rally in the state, the Prime Minister says the TMC is essentially a reincarnation of the left, and that the left, the Trinamool and the Congress are colluding to fight the BJP. That's our political face-off coming up on this program. Well, joining us now, the Director General of the National Disaster Relief Force, Mr. Pradhan. Thank you, sir, very much for being with us. Could you give us an idea of the latest on the rescue operations?
Well, Vishnu, as we speak, the rescue operations are on. The ITBP, the local SDRF, the local police, the army units which are stationed out of Joshimath, they're all on the job and they are working tirelessly. The NDRF teams are also very proximal, and they'll be joining very soon in the night. And the short point is that we'll have to work through the night because the number of missing are on the higher side, and that's why we cannot take any chances. So the operations are on, and they'll probably be on for the next 24 or maybe 48 hours.
Mr. Pradhan, how many people are still missing?
All I can say is it is in the regions of maybe a few, maybe 100 or a little more, but we cannot put a number to it right now. And they are, some of them are stuck in a tunnel in the under construction hydro plant barrage, and some who were missing in the external tunnel were recovered by the ITBP alive. So there is every chance that there are some people who are stuck and maybe rescued. So that's why, although it has become dark, it's a difficult operation, but we are up for it, and we'll carry on regardless.
In fact, we've got some images of these tunnels. Contact was actually established, I believe. I don't know if this was the tunnel from which the rescues have taken place. So my question is this, Mr. Pradhan, has contact been established with the 30-odd people who are still trapped in tunnels?
Contact is a very is a qualified term, because there's not been any voice contact, so to say, but there is every possibility, because it's a 2.5 kilometer long tunnel, and there are enough spaces which could give the scope that people may be safe and alive. So that's why we are trying, but we are the intervening sludge and silt is a problem. So that is something we have to negotiate. So it's a tough call, but we are onto it.
What about getting JCBs, bulldozers, machines to speed up the process? Is that a problem? Is it physically difficult to get those in?
It is physically difficult to get heavy machinery in that area, and already there are issues of access. But then we are trying our best. In fact, there will be also equipment which are oxygen supplying equipment and rope rescue equipment. Deep divers may be needed. So all these personnel are also rushing to the spot as we speak. So as I said, it's a long haul, and we don't know the exact resultant of this operation, but we'll have to be at it because time is of essence.
Have your two teams who are on the road from Dehradun, they should be reaching soon, am I right?
Yeah, they will be reaching soon, anytime now, and the teams which were airlifted, they are also reached the Dehradun airport, and I have just advised them that some of them, as expert personnel who may be required in tunnel rescue, may rush. So some of them are rushing in the night itself. The balance will be airlifted in the morning by smaller Mi-17 helicopters. So all in all, we are onto it, and let's hope for the best.
So you've actually got teams driving up through the mountains through the night in these conditions to try and get more of your specialist rescuers in.
Absolutely, Vishnu. There's no question of not doing it. There's no option, and we are taking only one option. We have to reach there as quickly as possible and save lives as early and as quickly as possible.
There was a camp of laborers, is what we were told, that was apparently washed away or partly washed away and then got stuck in the silt. Is that the big worry, that people over there could have been washed away in very large numbers? And I'm saying 100 plus.
Well, Vishnu, the whole aspect of this missing people is veering around the fact that there were laborers, there were personnel who were working in the projects, the three projects, the True Hydel projects, the barrage, and the BRO project. So they are all workers and maybe fitment people who are working in as engineers. So these are the people who have been most affected in terms of probably missing people. So that's why it is probably most of them would be workers who were in the project and may have been impacted by the onrushing water. So yes, the majority of the missing would be project workers.
And the two Hydel power plants have been destroyed, am I correct?
Yeah, but the maximum damage, as I see it, has happened in the vicinity of the Rainy Glacier and the Rainy Village. And the maximum damage has happened within the first half an hour of the glacial burst. So both in space and time, it has happened in the immediate time and immediate space. So whatever has happened in the first few kilometers or first 30 kilometers of the glacier. So these projects were in the vicinity, yes.
Mr. Pradhan, a large part of the glacier broke off, right? How far is this? A, is it the Trishul Glacier? And B, how far from this area was this part when it actually sort of came off the rest of the glacier?
It's I think Trishul or Trishala as it is called.
Trishala, yeah.
Yeah, and the river and the Krishna Ganga is the river, and the Rainy Village. The glacier is also named after the village, or vice versa. So it's the Rainy Glacier and the Rainy Village, which are actually very proximal to the project sites, within about 10 to 15 kilometers. So the villagers could actually hear the sound of the glacier, is what I'm told. And in Joshimath, there is a ITBP battalion which could hear. The commandant told us that he could also hear the sound of the onrushing river and the breaking of the glacier, etc. So yeah, it was a cataclysmic kind of a event when it happened. But now we'll have to assess the damage, and I think what remains is to really rescue save as many lives as possible.
Mr. Pradhan, downstream, are you concerned about rising water levels? You were earlier in the day. Has anything changed?
What has changed is when I got the report from the Central Water Commission, which is one of our feeder agencies for climate intelligence. They did give us a report at 7 p.m. which said that the water levels had come down to below the danger mark across the river system. But as we speak, there is some report that the water levels may be slightly rising again. So we'll have to wait and watch. But as of now, it is still the trend is still lower than what it was in the immediate aftermath of the glacial outburst. So I would imagine that the water would go down because the valley widens up downstream as we reach Haridwar. So I think the majority of the water from the glacial outburst would be now gone. But if there is further melting, that could be disturbing. But we are watching the situation.
So for people downstream, resorts in Rishikesh, for example, or even further downstream in Varanasi, are people still advised to stay away from the banks?
The state government has done its job, and in the first few hours of the incident, of the event, they had advised all the downstream settlements and towns and villages to evacuate, and I think that stays as of now. It has not been withdrawn. The Chief Minister was at pain to explain that even if the water level is down, on the side of caution, we should also keep a watch on the river, and that is being done. And all the other agencies have been advised, and the Honorable Cabinet Secretary in the National Crisis Management Committee meeting in the afternoon today advised the Central Water Commission, the DRDO agency, SASE, which watches the avalanches, to keep a strict watch, and there will be recce's run over the glacial system tomorrow also by the Air Force to get a picture as to whether further there is any further development in the glacial systems.
So that remains a big concern, that this may not be over entirely. Is that your biggest concern possibly?
I think in a disaster parlance, we do expect to prepare for the worst, and we expect that a disaster does not end by one event. So that is just practical wisdom. It is not something that I'm suggesting for this, but we have to be practical. So we have to watch the situation and not let our guards down.
Mr. Pradhan, your rescuers will have such a difficult job ahead of them, indeed, all of the other forces involved in this, and we just hope that they succeed, as the NDRF so often does, and the others. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us.
Thank you, Vishnu.
I'm also joined by Dr. Mohammad Farooq Azam. He's an assistant professor of glaciology and hydrology at IIT Indore. Thanks, Professor Azam. How rare is it for a large chunk of glacier to come off large enough to cause this kind of impact?
Thank you, Vishnu. This is very rare actually, because specifically in this particular time, we are in February and everything is in frozen state up there around 4,000 meters. So I think it's very rare to have some break of ice from the glacier, but it is possible that there is some snow avalanche that have triggered some glacier. There are some hanging glaciers in the valley. So maybe there is lots of snow, because we have received some snow over last weeks, and that snow have triggered some hanging glacier break, and then that also triggered some landslide possibly, and that came down in the valley.
What is a hanging glacier?
Hanging glaciers are normally, these are not the typical valley glaciers we have, like Trishul is one of the valley glaciers. So hanging glaciers are some glaciers which are small glaciers relatively, and they are hanging in very steep slopes. So they are normally more fragile than the regular glaciers, and if there is some load of snow over these glaciers, they may break.
Professor, have temperatures been irregular this winter in that area?
I don't know, because we have to investigate the temperature trends, but it is very very much expected that we are having more snow because of climate change. We are having more intense events of snowfall as well as rainfall, and because of climate change, the air is warmer now, and the temperature of snow is normally close to the 0 degrees centigrade, rather than it's a very very cold snow having a temperature of -6 or -5, something like that. So possibly there is the wet snow, and wet snow has more chances of avalanches, or snow avalanches basically.
All right, thanks Professor Azam very much for joining us. Joining us now, the spokesperson of the Indo-Tibetan Border Police, Commandant Vivek Kumar Pandey. Sir, if you can just give us an idea of the rescue effort now taking place, because beyond the 12 to 15 who have been rescued, we are told there is another team, right, who are missing, and approximately 30 people that you're trying to get out. Tell us about that, sir.
Now, what has happened that after rescuing those 12 men from the tunnel, we went to this tunnel, which is again a point of rescue for us. It is reported that about 30 to 35 people are being trapped in this tunnel. This is a longer tunnel, and there is the length of this tunnel is 2.5 kilometers. So 300 of our men are on the job, and we hope that during this overnight operation we would be able to get through the tunnel, because the water level have been increasing in the evening, and there are chances that the cold will also cold is also there inside the tunnel. Most of the areas where we hope that people may be there, we have already searched. So this is the last point. Like, this tunnel is the point where we can find some people inside. So we are hopeful that once the JCBs and all in the heavy machinery we are using, just to make sure that the tunnel's mouth will be opened. Once it is opened, we will be getting inside and searching those people who are trapped.
So your big challenge now is the silt and the mud which is blocking the tunnel, right?
Yes, and due to the fact that water level actually increases in the afternoon session, so now the water level have been increasing and cold is also increasing. So it's somehow difficult to actually get into. The earlier tunnel was a smaller tunnel, and though it also took us around 4 to 5 hours to actually dig the mouth of the tunnel. But right now we are on the job. We are hopeful that once it is cleared, the front of the snout is cleared, then we will be entering inside it, and we will be taking those men if we find inside.
Do you have any signs of life from inside?
Look, the last tunnel, there was one or two mobile phones with the one or two people inside. So we have talked to them. Signal was very weak, but we were able to reach them through mobile phones. But here there is no such communication. We don't know any mobile numbers are available or not. But you always hope that there are certain oxygen pockets within the tunnel that can be, giving them some sort of air, and they may be, because they are acclimatized. They are the people who are working there. So we are hopeful that they may be in a live state, and we would be getting them through. And most of these people are there, means they are working there in those harsh conditions. So they may, fight it out, and as soon as the mouth of the snout will be opened, we are hopeful that we will be getting it through and taking them out.
What are the temperatures, Mr. Pandey, over there? You keep referring to the cold. Is it negative temperatures now, minus temperatures?
Somehow, because the Oli resort, this is the snow slopes, their temperature is -2 to -3 degrees Celsius, and there are fresh snowfalls last week. So the temperature goes to 0 to sub-zero during the night. So there is no saying that the temperature is not sub-zero. The temperature is sub-zero, especially in the nights, especially in the early morning. So the water level remains, in the early morning becomes very, very low. And in the evening, when the day-long sunshine on the snow and other places, the water level increases. So this is the story there. Right now, what we are focusing at, that whatever points are available, because 2 or 3 points we have been told, we have already gone there and we have already searched and rescued those 12 people, out of which 3 were very, very critically, wanting oxygen, and we've supported oxygen. Now there is only worry whether proper oxygen supply is there or not, but we are still hopeful that we can get through and getting those people out. Let's hope.
No, let's all hope. Thank you, sir, and thanks to the ITBP and all the forces doing this. The only way people will survive this is through your help. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, we're going to move on now to our other big focus. The Prime Minister, in his first political rally in Bengal today, hit out at the Trinamool Congress, said in a sense it was a reincarnation of the left itself.
The venue of his first election rally, a challenge to Mamata Banerjee at Haldia, right next to Nandigram, from where she will be fighting this election. And the idiom of his attack against her and her party, tailored to resonate with the people of Bengal. Football, but with a googly.
बंगाल फुटबॉल से प्यार करने वाला राज्य है। टीएमसी ने एक के बाद एक कई फाउल कर लिए हैं। मिस गवर्नेंस का फाउल, विरोधियों पर हमले और हिंसा का फाउल, बंगाल के लोगों का पैसा लूटने का फाउल। इसलिए अब बहुत ही जल्द बंगाल तृणमूल को राम कार्ड दिखाने जा रहा है।
The Ram card is the signal of the Prime Minister's support for those who taunted Mamata Banerjee with the controversial Jai Sri Ram slogan when he last met her at Netaji's birth anniversary. To all this, the Prime Minister added a new charge against Mamata Banerjee: silence in the face of what he called an international conspiracy to malign India.
इन दिनों भारत को बदनाम करने के लिए कैसे कैसे अंतर्राष्ट्रीय षड्यंत्र सामने आ रहे हैं, कैसी कैसी साजिशें खुल रही है। लेकिन क्या आपने भारत के खिलाफ इन षड्यंत्रों पर, इन साजिशों पर दीदी के मुंह से एक भी वाक्य सुना है क्या?
All right. Well, joining us now, Dr. Shantanu Sen, Rajya Sabha MP of the Trinamool Congress. We're also joined by Chandra Bose of the BJP. I'd like to thank you both very much for being with us. Mr. Chandra Bose, Mr. Bose, this was one of the key points of some sort of collusion between the left, the Trinamool Congress and the Congress. What is the evidence of this?
You see, the Trinamool Congress, left and the Congress, they are anti-principle politics. You see, just for election purpose, they come into some sort of understanding and alliance, which
But
I
there
think
is no alliance on paper. Where have they spoken of an alliance?
No, there is a secret understanding. That is what the Honorable Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Modi ji, stated today in Haldia, in West Bengal, that there is some kind of secret understanding so that they can oppose the Bharatiya Janata Party. But the Bharatiya Janata Party is confident of fighting it alone. Because I think the people of Bengal, the kind of feedback, the kind of response that we are getting from rallies and meetings, it is quite clear that the people of Bengal are prepared for a change and they would vote for a positive change this time.
All right, so I've got Dr. Sen back. I want a quick reaction from Dr. Shantanu Sen. Would you respond to this BJP allegation that you're working with the left and the Congress? You have some sort of an alliance.
See, first of all, I would like to say that our Honorable Prime Minister was talking about showing red cards. When the farmers at the Delhi border, they have already shown red card to our Honorable Prime Minister. That's why...
No, but that wasn't my question, sir. Are you working with the left and the Congress? That was a specific allegation. What's your response?
See, Trinamool Congress has given political liberty and political independence to the people of Bengal by defeating the left rule of 34 years. So question doesn't arise when Trinamool is going to make an alliance with this left. And so far the Congress is concerned, Congress has become a signboard in our state of West Bengal. Mamata Banerjee came into power in 2011, getting 184 when the magic figure was 148. Later on in 2016, Mamata Banerjee's Trinamool Congress has got 211 seats out of 294. So Mamata Banerjee's Trinamool Congress, as they have done so much of pro-people activities, they have taken so much pro-people steps. They only believe they have enough faith on the people. And we are sure because of these activities, because of these pro-people developmental steps.
Okay, I want to go back to Mr. Bose.
Sure.
Mr. Bose, how many Trinamool leaders who have crossed over from the Trinamool or former Trinamool leaders who crossed over to the BJP were with the Prime Minister today?
Well, I think there were clearly 4 leaders I could see on the dais. But there were others also, I think, there in the meeting. You see, it is not a question of how many Trinamool Congress leaders are going to come over to Bharatiya Janata Party. You know, it is the people's mandate. And I think the people, the writing is clearly on the wall that the people of Bengal, they are now not interested in voting for a government which does not function. You see, Mamata Banerjee certainly is a mass leader, no doubt about it. She single-handedly defeated the left front. But the point is, she has lost the political relevance today in governance. She was given a golden opportunity by the people of Bengal to govern, to bring out the state of West Bengal, bring industry, maintain law and order, work for the farmers, but it's all null and void. Today her government has miserably failed on all counts. And I think Bengal deserves good governance now. After many, many years.
All right,
of
so let us see
chaos,
whether there is that
we
good
want
governance.
Good governance.
Let us see. I'm run short on time. We lost that line with Dr. Sen earlier on. I need to wrap this program up here, but we'll continue this debate in the future as the Bengal election campaign heats up. Need to take this short break. More coming up.